Yeah, 100%.
But I even feel like with even the paying on the first date thing, it's like, even if like, because I went on a first date that was to Chick-fil-A once, but I was so into the guy. So this was the best Chick-fil-A I ever had in my life.
Now we getting somewhere.
You'd have to be
And I was
to go to the date on the Chick-fil-A.
No. Now we're getting somewhere. Because let me tell you something. I can't stand hearing all this first date nonsense in the podcast world, because the truth of the matter is, if a woman really likes a dude like that,
that's true. They'll go anywhere.
She don't care where they go.
Right.
I did not care.
They can go to
whatever.
Chili's, they can go to Raising Cane's, they can go bowling.
That's
they
true.
Can whatever.
You're right. That's a good sign.
They can stay in. They can order takeout.
Yeah.
So when I see a woman that's, all dressed up a little too much with the eyelashes and whatever, talking about, well, he didn't pay for my first date. I'm not, honey, you're not even looking for a dude. You're looking for sponsorship.
Yeah.
True.
And I just know that. And the other thing about women that I do know also is, and I had to learn this the hard way just growing up, is if a woman won't spend no money on you, she don't like you.
Yeah.
Say that again. Hold up. Why y'all got Jaleel White on here spitting on a podcast? They said, take the mics away. No, we wouldn't get gold like this. Jaleel White, a legend for playing a memorable character in his teenage years on Family Matters. Steve Urkel, also a.k.a. Stefan Urkel. I think this is more Stefan. I think he really played that role because he really had some Stefan in him. You know what I'm saying? But he is really getting to the core of this right here. I got to hear this again, man. My man is really spitting here. He got his book up there on front. Go get his book, Growing Up Urkel. All right. Boomerang shirt on. Shout out to Boomerang. That was one of the first R movies I saw, by the way. Boomerang in the theaters.
And I had to learn this the hard way just growing up, is if a woman won't spend no money on you, she don't like you.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean, I'm not talking about gigolo stuff, but I mean, like, if she won't go into her purse for even the smallest, payment,
For parking.
your Chick-fil-A, your Raising Cane's,
Yeah.
whatever, or, your movie ticket or whatever. Like,
Right.
she got to the theater first and you're running late. You're looking for parking. And she's like, oh, I already got this. I got everything. I'm inside. I left your ticket, at the...
Or even suggesting to have a date that she pays for every once in a while. Like, come on. Every date? Yeah, I think that's why a lot of these women are having short-term relationships, because they get to a point where they exhaust the man to the point where he's like, oh, are you ever going to kick in? Are you ever going to contribute to this? Yet and still, if she had the dude that she wanted, she would be buying him everything. Like, that's what I'm saying. Don't settle for less, y'all out there. I think that is... Y'all are starting to get the message on this. You're starting to get the message that you don't need to settle for less, that there is a different way. You don't have to be tricking out here if you don't want to.
I already got this. I got everything. I'm inside. I left your ticket, at the kiosk.
Well, because I think it could be cute
That
too.
girl
Like,
likes you, man.
like
yeah, of course.
you get
you're
the
right.
tickets.
That's the most gesture.
They buy the snacks.
Yeah.
That's cute. I think that's cute.
That's you.
No,
I
it is
For a first date, maybe not.
I got my, you know how
But-
I learned that? I learned that such a hard way. There was a girl, I lived in Pasadena growing up as a kid. And I met a girl that lived in Redondo Beach. So for anybody who knows distance in LA,
yeah.
give me the New York equivalent, please, of that, so that people on the East Coast.
Probably Long Island to New Jersey.
Can understand. What is Pasadena?
Nah, Long Island to the Bronx or upstate somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Pasadena is the 210 to the 134 to the 101 to the 405 to Redondo
I guess you
Beach.
could. I mean, I guess you could say it's like dating a girl if you live in New York City and she lives
Different
in
borough.
Long Island.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be
What
like,
did I
and especially like if it's middle to deep Long Island. But I think that's about accurate. With
Right?
traffic.
I would drive with an 11 o'clock curfew to pick her up at Redondo Beach.
Yeah.
Go out, do whatever we were going to do, and then race home to try to beat curfew.
Get to Pasadena.
By 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
I spent most of the date on the road.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I remember one time I picked her up and brought her all the way back to Westwood to a movie theater. And I was starting to sense that she didn't even come out of the house with a purse. Like she wasn't even coming out of the house with a purse. This is probably about our third date at this point. And so I pulled up in front of the old man village. Oh my gosh, the Man Theater, the Man National, the old Man National in Westwood. I pulled up, and I was like, "Yo, I got to park." You know, she was like, "I said, can you get the tickets?"
Get the park.
And she was like, "No, I'll wait with you." She was adamant. I'll park with you and walk with you. And I did this on purpose because I was starting to be concerned, and I was like, we were legitimately going to be late. Like I wanted to be able to park my car and just run right in, and my ticket was just kind of, you could do that back in the day. It's like, oh, I left your ticket, cool, go right in. And I told her twice, I said, please just get the ticket. Finally, I reached into my pocket. I gave her a $20 bill. And I was like, please, I didn't break though. I said, please just go get the tickets. Once I pulled out the 20, got it, done. And that was the last date I went on with her.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a good.
Blocking her blessings, man. He was on the #1 show probably at that time. I mean, he still had a curfew, which is kind of crazy, but what are you going to do?
And that was just a $20 test way back in 19 like freaking
Yeah. No, that's a good test. You're smart for doing that.
But it was just like, I really did detect. I was like, she don't want to spend even like $10 on me.
Yeah.
Nope. This is Jaleel White's podcast. He shared his perspectives on dating dynamics, particularly focusing on women's behavior in relationships. You know, the financial contribution is a huge sign of interest, you know, because let's be honest, a lot of women are cheap. They cheap. They don't spend on anything that they don't really value. Jaleel White asserted that if a woman is unwilling to spend any money on a man, it's an indication that she doesn't genuinely like him. And how true is that? I mean, you've got a lot of women out here who will bring every dollar back to a man that hasn't had a job and sits and plays PlayStation all day, sits and plays Madden all day. And that's cool. You know, I recently saw a clip and my cousin and I were discussing this. He had went through some hard times in his life and, you know, he became homeless. And he said he had so many women while he was homeless. It's because I think women kind of like a project.
Y'all, I don't get how a man fresh out of prison can find a good woman in no time. And y'all, I'm not lying. I've been a probation parole officer for 3 years. So once they're released from prison, they're coming to me. Now, their address usually starts out, you know, with the mom or a family member or something like that. But that next month they come and I see them, oh, they need to immediately change their address. Baby, they found them a woman. She's helping him pay his fines and fees. She's cooking for him. He's using her car and stuff. And I'm like, how? Like, you just got out of prison a month ago. Where did you meet her? What did you say? Like, I need to know because it's men out here who's free working a 9 to 5 and they can't find a woman at all. They're still searching for that good woman. So I just want to know, what are these men in prison? What are they saying? Because this is crazy to me.
They'll invest their money into somebody that they deem as needing their help. But once he got on his feet, he was not getting the same type of cooperation that he was getting while he was living in the streets and hotel to hotel. Jaleel also mentioned that when a woman truly likes a man, she doesn't care about the venue or the expense of the first date. Like the girl was saying, she went to Chick-fil-A and she was happy with it. Well, didn't we have a whole slew of people posting up how they weren't going to go to the Cheesecake Factory on the first date and a list of other restaurants that were unacceptable for first dates? This is the problem. Jaleel White, established as he was, millionaire in his preteen years, is expressing some of the same things that a lot of you men are dealing with right now. This is way back in the 90s. And that's what I'm going to tell y'all about the 90s, y'all. You might not realize. The version of the 90s you all get is very sanitized. It's very romanticized. But it doesn't tell you the truth of what was really going on there. And I laugh sometimes when I hear some of the young ladies now talk about how they want men like their fathers or their grandfathers. If you really think about what your fathers and your grandfathers were doing in the 90s, they were getting a lot of disappointment. And they were getting a lot of disappointment for this very reason, because they were putting the money forward to have this experiences. They were rolling out the red carpet, whatever they had. They was driving from Pasadena to Redondo Beach to pick somebody up who's ungrateful, and they were getting the doors slammed in their face. Meanwhile, that girl in Redondo Beach probably had a dude that was local there that she had no problem with, was probably paying for his children that he had with another woman, plus letting them hit on the side. Urkel is rolling out the red carpet, singing R&B, listening to Babyface and all this stuff. And I know women are asking for, we want somebody more like our fathers because our fathers were doing all these things. But what they don't realize is that it comes with a lot. And that is a man that gets walked all over. You know what I'm saying? A man like that leads with his money in most cases is going to be walked over. And I don't know what happened in the 2000s. Well, I do know what happened in the 90s. A lot of music started informing us that there was two different worlds here, that there was a world where you could get everything you wanted for just about nothing, where you could be a guy and it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. You got Diddy running these chicks through freak offs and you over there trying to take her on a date. And she done been through a freak off. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. So this is an interesting place. I'm glad Jaleel is healthy. He's doing his thing. He's still around. I'd like to see him act some more, actually, be in some more projects. Put him on Power or something. You know what I mean? Give him something to do. I know he's probably wealthy still because the show's in syndication, so he's doing well. But I think he's bringing some sage wisdom here and echoes of a young Kevin Samuels. But, it's funny because it sounded like he was excited to be on a podcast so that he could talk about this. You remember what he said when he finally broached the topic? He's like, oh, good, we getting into it now. Let's get into it, So, yeah, shout out to Jaleel White. And thanks for all the memories, you know what I'm saying? And being part of our childhood, But anyway, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. If you want to watch more, please watch one of these videos down below. Make sure you sign up for my Patreon. I have a Patreon down below. The link is in the description. I had an incident the other day where I couldn't finish a video because I couldn't confirm some of the facts. So I think when some of y'all might have saw the video because it was up for a little bit, but I pulled it. Stuff like that might live on the Patreon is what I'm thinking, just so it doesn't have impact on the channel. So it's no censorship that we get here on this platform and that we can get the message from Faucette Media direct to you. Anyway, this is Faucette Media.